77 people have been executed in Georgia. This is part 10 of the series. Carlton Michael Gary, March 15, 2018, lethal injection. Gary committed DSA and the murder of at least 8 women whose ages ranged from 40 to 89 years old, with most being elderly. Nearly all of his victims were attacked in their own homes, though his youngest victim, 40-year-old Marion Fisher from New York, was abducted while walking out of a bar. Each of his victims was strangled to death using nylon stockings, which is what earned him the media nickname Stocking Slayer. Despite the fact that there was overwhelming evidence against him, including positive DNA tests, testimonies from survivors, fingerprints recovered at the crime scenes, and genetic material samples, Gary still maintained a vocal following that claimed his innocence. His criminal history was extensive, beginning in his teenage years, and included multiple charges of arson, assault, and robbery. Gary declined a special last meal, and he was instead offered the standard institutional tray, which included a grilled hamburger, a hot dog, white beans, coleslaw, and a grape beverage. When offered the opportunity for a final statement, he refused to make one. An execution media witness noted that Gary never said a word or opened his eyes during the process. He also declined the final prayer. Robert Earl Butts Jr., May 4, 2018, and Marion Wilson Jr., June 20, 2019, lethal injection. Butts, along with his accomplice Marion Wilson, carjacked Donovan Parks, a 24-year-old off-duty correctional officer, after Parks had agreed to give them a ride home from Walmart. The two forced Parks to exit his vehicle and then shot him in the head in an execution-style manner. Both Butts and Wilson were members of a Latin Kings set, and authorities believe that they murdered Parks to gain additional prestige within their gang. Butts had a prior criminal record, which included charges of shoplifting and burglary. His last words were, "It burns, man," spoken in a low voice after the lethal injection process had begun. When initially asked for any final words in the execution chamber, he simply said, "Yeah, I've been drinking caffeine all day." His last meal was a bacon cheeseburger with American and cheddar cheeses, ribeye steak, 6 chicken tenders, seasoned French fries, cheesecake, and strawberry lemonade. Marion Wilson Jr. maintained his innocence in a final statement. His last meal request was a large one that included pizza, buffalo wings, ice cream, and apple pie. In the execution chamber, Wilson gave a final statement to witnesses. He said he never killed anyone and continued to declare his innocence. He told his family and supporters, "I love you all forever. That can't stop it. Nothing can stop it." Before the lethal injection was fully administered, Wilson shouted out, "About to be free," repeating the phrase multiple times. Scotty Garnell Morrow, May 2, 2019, lethal injection. Barbara Ann Young began dating Scotty Morrow in June 1994 but ended the relationship in December the same year due to his abusive behavior. On the morning of December 29, 1994, at approximately 9:52 a.m., Morrow called Young at her home, but she told him she wanted nothing further to do with him. After that phone call ended, Morrow drove to her house and entered without permission. At the time, Young was in the kitchen with 2 friends, Tonya Woods and Latoya Horn, while her 2 children, 5-year-old Christopher and 8-month-old Devontae, were also present. An argument broke out in the kitchen, during which Miss Woods told Morrow to leave because Miss Young wanted no contact with him. In response, Morrow shouted at her and drew a 9mm pistol from his waistband. He shot Woods in the abdomen and Horn in the arm. The bullet that struck Woods severed her spinal cord, leaving her paralyzed from the waist down. Young attempted to escape down the hallway to her bedroom, but Morrow caught her in the bedroom and beat her on the head and face. She managed to flee back into the hallway, while Morrow grabbed her by the hair and shot her point blank in the head, killing her. From a nearby bedroom, her son Christopher witnessed Morrow kill his mother. Morrow then returned to the kitchen. Evidence, including clicking sounds and the discovery of live cartridge on the kitchen floor, indicated that he either reloaded his pistol or cleared the jam. He then placed the muzzle of the gun an inch from Miss Wood's chin and shot her in the head, killing her. The medical examiner testified that although Miss Woods was paralyzed, she had not yet lost much blood and was probably still conscious when she was fatally shot. Morrow also shot Miss Horn 2 additional times, once in the face and again in the arm, before fleeing and cutting the telephone line. Despite her injuries, which included a shattered palate, permanent deafness in 1 year, and nerve damage in her arm, Horn managed to stand up. She ran to a neighbor's house, and she and Christopher informed responding police officers that Morrow was the shooter. Morrow confessed after his arrest, and the murder weapon was found hidden in his backyard. At trial, he admitted that he shot the victims because he wanted Woods to shut up. Morrow expressed deep remorse for his crimes in his final statement. While strapped to the gurney, he offered his deepest and sincere apologies to the Woods family and the Young family. He also apologized to his own family for the hurt and pain and said he loved them all. Prior to the execution, in an interview, Morrow said, "I don't want to die, but I'm at peace." His final meal request included a hamburger with mayo, 2 chicken and waffle meals, 2 all-beef hot dogs, a bag of buttered popcorn, a pint of butter pecan ice cream, and a large lemonade. The Georgia Department of Corrections stated that he only finished about half of his requested meal. Ray Jefferson Cromartie, November 13, 2019, lethal injection. During the course of a grocery store robbery, Cromartie, along with an accomplice, shot 2 store clerks, Richard Sliz and Daniel Wilson. Sliz was killed at the scene, while Wilson survived the attack but suffered crippling injuries. Cromartie declined to make a last statement, and he did not record one before his execution. He did, however, accept a final prayer that was recited for him. His last meal included steak, lobster, mac and cheese, cube steak, rice and gravy, steak and cheese sandwich, double cheeseburger, French fries with a side of ranch dressing, strawberry milkshake, layered cake with white icing. Donnie Cleveland Lance, January 29, 2010, lethal injection. Lance broke down the door of his ex-wife's home, where 39-year-old Sandra was present, and fatally shot her boyfriend, 33-year-old Dwight Wood Jr. Following that, he used the butt of his gun to strike Sandra, and he killed her. Court documents revealed that during their marriage, Lance had subjected Sandra to extreme abuse, reportedly kidnapping and torturing her on multiple occasions through beatings, strangulations, and electrocutions. When asked if he wanted to make a final statement, Lance simply said no. He also declined an offer for a final prayer from the chaplain. For his last meal, he had 2 chili steak burgers, French fries, onion rings, mustard, ketchup, and a soda. Willie James Pye, March 20, 2024, lethal injection. On November 17, 1993, 8 years after his first encounter with the law, Pye became involved in the essay and the murder of his ex-girlfriend, Alicia Lynn Yarbrough, who was 21 years old at the time. Pye had maintained an on-again, off-again romantic relationship with Yarbrough prior to their final breakup. After their breakup, Yarbrough began a relationship with another man and gave birth to a child. Pye, believing himself to be the father, became angry upon learning that the birth certificate listed Yarbrough's new partner as the father. On that day, Pye, armed with a recently purchased .22 caliber pistol, teamed up with 2 accomplices, 15-year-old Anthony Freeman and 25-year-old Chester Adams, intending to commit a robbery at Yarbrough's lover's house. Upon arriving, they discovered that Yarbrough was alone at the residence with her baby. Pye and his accomplices abducted Yarbrough, later essayed her at a motel, and stole her jewelry. Afterwards, the trio drove Yarbrough down a dirt road, where Pye ordered her out of the car, instructed her to lie face down, and shot her 3 times. Yarbrough's body was discovered later that same day, and all 3 perpetrators were arrested shortly afterward. While Pye and Adams denied involvement, Freeman confessed to the murder and implicated both Pye and Adams. Subsequent DNA testing confirmed that genetic material found on the victim's body belonged to Pye, providing authorities with definitive evidence to charge him in connection with the murder. Pye accepted the final prayer, but he did not make a final statement in the execution chamber. He did, however, record the statement earlier in the day. In the recorded statement, Pye thanked the staff of Georgia Diagnostic and Classification Prison, noting that they had been kind to him and made the process so easy. He expressed remorse for what had happened and said he was at peace. For his last meal, he had 2 chicken sandwiches, 2 cheeseburgers, French fries, 2 bags of plain potato chips, and 2 lemon-lime sodas. Please hit that subscribe button if you like my channel. See you next time. Bye bye.